Hello, hello, Sandy Hannum, and we are still talking about limiting beliefs. Limiting beliefs are so powerful in really sabotaging the things that we do and the things that we say and the things that we think. And many times, limiting beliefs are, it's really hard for us to find our limiting beliefs. It's hard for us to even know that we have limiting beliefs because many times they happened when we were young. We might have buried them in our subconscious. And so many times we're not even aware that we have limiting beliefs. But we certainly know when when we start talking negative to ourselves. And so we have gone through 7 limiting beliefs already. And today is the limiting belief about I'm not responsible for my current situation. Today, I really want to analyze how harmful it is when we might think that we're a victim of our circumstance, or we don't believe that we have any control about how we think about things or kind of what's going on in our life. And it's really easy for us to play the blame game. We all do it. We all do it, right? To believe that somebody else is responsible for the situation that we find ourselves in is giving people a lot of power. And sometimes it's true, right? Sometimes it's true. But when we don't hold ourselves responsible for the things that happen or those current circumstance, it allows us to kind of stay stuck in those circumstances. And sometimes when I'm working with clients, when I'm working with people, I often say, it's not your fault, but it's your responsibility. Things happen. We know that things happen in our lives, and they might not have been something that we did, but it certainly is our responsibility to fix it because now we're here, right? So, because sometimes we say, well, we didn't create the situation, so how can I be responsible for changing it? But what happens is we don't make any forward progress at all when we're blaming other people or when we feel like we don't have any control. So the limiting belief that we're not responsible really gets us stuck. It keeps us stuck. So when something goes wrong, we can simply believe that it's other people, it's circumstances. But the limiting belief becomes, I'm not responsible for where I am in life. And we know that that gives away our power. And above all, we want to keep our power. We want to grow our power. So the empowering beliefs that I want you to change it to are, I'm 100% responsible for my life. I'm going to take ownership of my circumstances. I refuse to play the victim game, and I can create whatever circumstances I want. I'm in complete charge of my life, and I'm going to determine what it looks like. And in that way, we start to take our power back. And not only do we take it back, but we can grow it. Because there's this thing in our brain called the reticular system. And it's small. It's a small piece. But what it does, and we've talked about this before, what it does is when you tell your mind something, it wants you to be right. So when I tell myself, I don't do this anymore, but I used to, I'm so stupid, I can't believe I did that. It's like, oh, okay, well, we want her to be right. So it goes out and it looks for things in my environment that proves that I'm stupid. And so what happens is that you get into this self-fulfilling prophecy. And so we want to tell our subconscious that you are 100% responsible for your life. I am taking ownership. Because then it's going to go out and it's going to look for evidence that you're in control, that you have the power, that the power is back. And in that way, you're going to make forward progress in your life. And it's absolutely essential that we take that power back for circumstances that we kind of find ourselves in. But ultimately, we're responsible for what we accept in our lives and then for what we refuse in our life. So if you find yourself in a particular situation or set of circumstances, it's really important that we make the decision, are we going to accept this or are we going to reject this? And that is where our power lies. So your new belief is, I am 100% responsible for everything that happens in my life. You're going to really be powerful with that limiting belief. And really, it's actually a pretty freeing belief, because once you realize that your current circumstances can be changed, or you can take that power, then you can just go about changing them. Our brain is designed to work with us, to answer questions. It's kind of like a computer screen. Have you ever, an example, you got a new car, you got a different car and it's red. All of a sudden, you're seeing red cars all over the place. That's because all of a sudden it came into your awareness, and now you're paying attention. You forgot about a person's name. You couldn't think about this person's name. You're like, I can't think. Well, what happened was your brain, your subconscious is still thinking, but it's kind of like it got minimized on the computer screen. It's still working, but you're not aware of it, and you're going about your business. All of a sudden, you think, oh, I know who that is. That is your subconscious mind kind of at work. And so we can use our minds to be really powerful to help us go out and look for evidence and look for things. So here are your action steps for today. I want you to write down any circumstances that you're unhappy about. Then I want you to take 100% ownership for those circumstances, even if other people played a part in creating them, right? We know that happens. And then I want you to identify really specific action steps that you can take. They don't have to be big. They don't have to be huge action steps either. They can be small action steps. And so I just want you to know that you have the power. You're 100% in charge. So your affirmation could be, I'm responsible for everything positive and negative that comes into my life. I take 100% ownership for the current state of my life. I do whatever is necessary to create them. So that is your limiting belief, your empowering belief, and your action steps for tonight. So next time we're going to talk about success and how it maybe feels like it's eluded you, because sometimes we feel like we're not worthy. We're not worthy of success. And this belief, again, just like all of our limiting beliefs, are probably working at a really subconscious level. And so when we feel like we're not worthy, many times it keeps us from reaching our goals. So we're going to talk about that in my next live, and talk about how we definitely are worthy. I want you to have a wonderful night, and thank you for joining me, and I will see you next time.